Good morning, Miss Garland. Please, come in and have a seat. Thank you for coming to the Ritz-Carlton for this interview today.
Good morning, Mr. DiCaprio. Thank you very much for having me. It is an honor to be here at the Ritz-Carlton.
The pleasure is mine. I'm Leonardo DiCaprio, the director of rooms here. To begin, could you please tell me a little bit about yourself and your background in housekeeping?
Certainly, Mr. DiCaprio. I am a dedicated hospitality professional with over 7 years of experience in the luxury hotel industry. I hold a diploma in hotel management from the Institute of Hotel Management, Mumbai, which gave me a strong theoretical foundation in housekeeping operations and guest service. I began my career as a room attendant at the Oberoi, where I spent 3 years learning the importance of precision and attention to detail. For the past 4 years, I have been working at the Taj Mahal Palace in Mumbai, where I was promoted to the role of Housekeeping Supervisor. In this role, I have successfully led a team of 18 housekeeping associates, managed VIP arrivals, and consistently maintained the highest standards of cleanliness and presentation. I am now looking for a new challenge where I can further refine my leadership skills and contribute to the legendary service standards of the Ritz-Carlton.
That's a very clear career progression, Judy. And what attracts you to the Ritz-Carlton specifically? Why do you want to leave your current position to join our team?
Mr. DiCaprio, the Ritz-Carlton is synonymous with the absolute highest standard of luxury and service. It is the gold standard in our industry. I have always admired your famous motto, "We are ladies and gentlemen serving ladies and gentlemen." I want to work in an environment where excellence is not just a goal, but the standard. I believe my experience and my passion for perfection would allow me to contribute to that legacy.
That's a wonderful answer. At a luxury hotel like ours, the details matter immensely. Based on your experience, what are the most important things a room attendant must do to make a guest feel special in their room?
Sir, it's about creating a feeling of perfection and care. First, the room must be spotlessly clean and smell fresh. Second, everything must be in its perfect place, with all amenities fully stocked. But the most important thing is the small, personal touch. For example, if a guest has a book on the nightstand, we place a branded bookmark where they left off. Or, if we see a pair of glasses, we leave a special glasses cleaning cloth. It shows the guest we saw them as an individual, not just another room to clean.
Excellent. Let's talk about the tools of the trade. Can you explain the different types of cleaning chemicals you have used and what they are for? Please speak in simple terms.
Certainly, sir. I have experience with various chemicals. For general cleaning, we use a neutral all-purpose cleaner for most surfaces. For bathrooms, we have a specific disinfectant cleaner that kills germs and removes soap scum. Glass cleaner is used for mirrors and windows to get a streak-free shine. For carpet stains, we use a special spotter and a carpet shampoo machine. We also use a degreaser for kitchen areas and suites. Safety is key. I always ensure my team knows the correct dilution ratios. For example, some chemicals are used ready to use directly from the bottle, while others, like the all-purpose cleaner, need to be diluted with water, maybe 20 or 30 milliliters per liter, depending on the task.
And what about the machines? Which housekeeping machines are you comfortable operating and training others on?
I am very comfortable with all standard housekeeping machinery, sir. This includes the vacuum cleaners for carpets, the single-disc machine for scrubbing and buffing hard floors, and the carpet shampooing machine. For example, I know that for buffing a marble floor to a high shine, we use a white pad with the single-disc machine. For scrubbing a very dirty floor, we would use a more aggressive black or green pad.
If you walked into a guest bathroom right now, what are the top 3 things you would check to ensure it meets a 5-star standard?
First, I would check for cleanliness and shine. The mirror, the chrome taps, the basin, and the toilet. There should be no spots, hair, or watermarks. Second, I would check the amenities and linen. Are the towels fluffy, white, and perfectly folded? Is the toilet paper folded into a crisp point? Are the soaps, shampoos, and lotions full and arranged neatly? Third, I would check for presentation and smell. The bathroom should smell fresh and clean, not like chemicals. Everything should look inviting and pristine.
Carpets can be challenging. How would you handle a fresh red wine stain on a light beige carpet in a guest room?
Speed is everything, sir. I would first blot up as much of the wine as possible with a clean, dry, white cloth, never rub, as that spreads the stain. Then, I would apply a specialized carpet spotter chemical. I would let it sit for a few minutes, then gently blot again from the outside of the stain inward. Finally, I would rinse the area with a little cold water and blot it dry. If the stain persisted, I would use a portable spot cleaning machine to extract it properly.
As a supervisor, you moved from doing the work to leading the team. What do you think is the single most important quality a housekeeping supervisor must have?
I believe the most important quality is leading by example, Mr. DiCaprio. A supervisor cannot just point and tell. We have to be willing to step in and help. If a team member is struggling or we are short-staffed, I will pick up a cloth, run a vacuum, or show them the correct technique. This builds respect and trust. The team sees that I am a part of their success, not just someone who checks their work.
That's a great quality. So, tell me, if a staff member calls in sick at the last minute and you are already fully booked, how do you handle the situation to ensure all rooms are cleaned?
First, I stay calm, sir. Panic doesn't help. I would immediately assess the situation. I would look at the day's checkouts and stay-over rooms. I would then speak with the team, explain the situation, and ask for their support. I would help them prioritize. We would focus on getting the vacant dirty rooms ready for new guests first. I would also work alongside them, taking on a section myself to lighten the load. It's about teamwork and making sure the guest is never affected.
What is your process for giving on-the-job training to a new staff member who is cleaning a room incorrectly?
My process is show, tell, do, and check. First, I would stop them politely. I wouldn't scold them in front of others. I would say, "Here, let me show you a great way to do this." Then, I would show them the correct method, for example, the right way to make a bed corner or dust a room top to bottom. As I'm showing, I tell them why we do it this way. For example, this way, no dust falls on areas we've already cleaned. Then, I would ask them to do it themselves while I watch, giving gentle guidance. Finally, I would regularly check their work over the next few days to make sure the new habit is sticking.
And what if a staff member repeatedly fails to meet our quality standards despite your training and support? What are your next steps?
My first step is always to understand the why. I would have a private, one-on-one conversation with them. I would ask, "I've noticed you're having trouble with X. Is everything okay? Is there something I can do to help you better? Maybe there's a personal problem, or maybe they learn differently." If it's still a performance issue after support, I would give a clear, verbal warning, explaining that the standard is not optional and what the consequences will be. I would document this. My goal is always to help them succeed, but the hotel's standards must be maintained for our guests.
If a staff member directly refused to do a task you asked them to do, how would you handle that in the moment?
I would not argue with them in public, sir. That would be unprofessional. I would calmly say, "I understand you're upset. Please step outside with me for a moment so we can discuss this privately." In private, I would listen to their reason for refusing. Maybe they feel the task is unsafe, or they are overwhelmed. If their reason is not valid, I would firmly but politely explain that as part of the team, we all have duties, and I need their cooperation. I would give them a choice: complete the task, or we will have to discuss this with the HR department as a refusal to work. Usually, a calm but firm approach resolves the issue.
A guest stops you in the corridor and complains that their room was not serviced by 2 p.m., even though they had the "Do Not Disturb" sign on the door until 1 p.m. How do you handle this?
I would first apologize sincerely for the inconvenience. Sir, I am so sorry to hear that, Mr. Smith. I completely understand your frustration. I would explain, politely, that our policy is to respect the "Do Not Disturb" sign, so we couldn't enter until 1 p.m. But I wouldn't make it sound like an excuse. I would immediately take ownership. I would say, "Let me personally make this right for you right now. What time would be most convenient for us to come and service your room? I will send a team member immediately, or I can come back myself at a time that suits you." The key is to apologize, explain without blaming the guest, and offer an immediate solution.
You are inspecting a VIP guest's room just before their arrival and you notice the air conditioning is not working and it's very hot. The guest is checking in within 10 minutes. What do you do?
This is an urgent situation. I would not wait. I would immediately call the engineering department on my radio, explain it's a VIP pre-arrival, and request urgent assistance. At the same time, I would inform the front desk manager. If engineering cannot fix it immediately, I would work with the front desk to identify an alternate but comparable room for the guest. We would pre-block that room and ensure it's perfect. The guest must never be given a room that is not in perfect condition. We would also inform the manager so they can personally welcome the guest and explain the situation, perhaps with a small amenity as a gesture.
A guest calls the housekeeping line and is very angry because they have asked for extra towels 3 times, and they still haven't received them. How do you resolve this on the phone?
I would first listen without interrupting. Then I would apologize sincerely and with empathy. "Mr. Smith, I am truly sorry for this unacceptable delay. I can hear how frustrated you are, and you have every right to be." I would then take full ownership. I would not blame the previous person who took the call. I would say, "My name is Judy, and I am the supervisor. I am going to personally bring you those towels right now. May I ask, would you also like some extra water or anything else I can bring to make up for this mistake?" I would then bring the towels myself within 2-3 minutes and apologize again in person.
You see a new room attendant using the same damp cloth to wipe the toilet and then the bathroom sink. What is your immediate reaction?
I would stop them immediately, but very discreetly and calmly so as not to embarrass them in front of guests or other staff. I would go over and quietly say, "Excuse me, just a moment." I would then explain, for hygiene and our 5-star standards, we must use separate, color-coded cloths for the toilet and all other surfaces. Using the same one can spread germs. Here, let me show you the correct cloth to use for each area. This is a critical training moment that cannot be ignored.
Walk me through a typical day for you as a supervisor, from the moment you arrive.
My day would start by clocking in and checking my uniform for a professional appearance. First, I would check the VIP arrival list and the day's occupancy with the front office. Then, I would attend the morning briefing with my team, where I would assign sections, highlight VIPs, share any guest feedback, and motivate the team. I would then distribute keys, chemicals, and equipment. Throughout the morning, I would inspect the VIP rooms first, then do random inspections of other guest rooms. I would also check public areas, back of house, and the locker rooms. I would handle any guest requests or complaints personally and manage my team's workload, solving problems as they arise. At the end of the day, I would collect keys, check the return of equipment, and prepare the next day's assignment sheet.
How would you conduct a briefing to motivate your team for a busy day?
I would start with a warm welcome and a smile. I would share one positive piece of feedback from a guest from the previous day to show them their hard work is noticed. Then, I would clearly and simply state the facts. Good morning, team. Today is a big day. We have a full hotel and 40 checkouts. We need to work as a fast and efficient team. I would remind them of the key priorities, like the VIP suites. I would ask if anyone has any questions or needs any support. I would end on a positive and appreciative note. I know it's a busy day, but I also know we have the best team to handle it. Let's work together, support each other, and make our guests feel special. Thank you.
How do you manage and control the inventory of guest supplies like shampoos, soaps, and toilet paper to ensure we never run out but also don't have waste?
It's all about a system, sir. I would implement a par level system. A par level is the minimum amount we must always have in stock. My attendants would be trained to restock their carts at the end of the day and note what they used. I would have a dedicated storekeeper or a senior attendant check the main stock daily. I would do weekly physical counts of the main stock and compare it to our usage. If we are using too much, I would investigate if there is theft or waste. If we are running low, I would order more in advance, so we never run out for our guests.
How do you manage the lost and found process? A guest calls a week after checking out, claiming they left a valuable piece of jewelry. What do you do?
At a hotel like this, the lost and found process is very serious and must be 100% accurate, sir. First, I would ask the guest for their name, room number, and checkout date. I would then check our secure, locked lost and found logbook and database. We log every single item found, with a date, location, finder's name, and a detailed description. If the jewelry is there, I would verify the description with the guest. Once confirmed, I would arrange for its return, following hotel policy, usually with the guest paying for secure shipping. If it's not there, I would check the logbook again to see if a similar item was found and offer to keep their details in case it is turned in later. Honesty and security are paramount.
Why are checklists important in housekeeping?
Checklists are the foundation of our consistency, sir. In a luxury hotel, every single room must be perfect every time. Without a checklist, a busy attendant might forget a small detail, like restocking the coffee or cleaning a light switch plate. A checklist ensures that no matter who cleans the room, they follow the same steps and meet the same 85-point standard. It's also a tool for me, as a supervisor, to inspect against. It removes any confusion and makes the standard clear for everyone.
Judy, you've given very thoughtful answers. Now, I have a personal question. How do you stay calm and positive during a very stressful, busy day when everything seems to be going wrong at once?
I focus on what I can control, Mr. DiCaprio. I take a deep breath and prioritize. I remind myself that my team is looking to me for leadership, so I need to stay calm for them. I focus on one problem at a time and solve it. I also make sure to communicate clearly with my team and with other departments. And at the end of the day, I feel a great sense of satisfaction in knowing that we, as a team, overcame the challenges and delivered a great experience for our guests despite the pressure.
That's a very mature outlook. Finally, do you have any questions for me about the role or about working at the Ritz-Carlton?
Yes, thank you, Mr. DiCaprio. I have 2 questions. First, could you describe the team I would be working with and the culture within the housekeeping department? And second, what are the biggest opportunities and challenges for the department in the coming year?
Those are excellent questions. We have a very dedicated and professional team here, and we pride ourselves on a supportive, family-like culture where we help each other. The main challenge is always maintaining our standards during peak seasons, but the opportunity lies in the training and development of our staff to become future leaders. Thank you for asking. It has been a true pleasure speaking with you, Miss Garland. Your experience and, more importantly, your attitude are very impressive.
Thank you so much, Mr. DiCaprio. I truly appreciate your time and this wonderful conversation. It has been an honor.
The honor was mine. Our HR department will be in touch with you within the next few days regarding the next steps. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you again. You have a wonderful day as well, sir. Goodbye.